What is up, Jags fans? Here we are. We have begun our off-season talk. I mean, this is like the first real time I feel like we've talked about the off-season. So I'm super excited. We have a fun show planned for you. There's a lot going on, actually. The Jaguars have 2 players announced to the Pro Bowl, kind of. We have a new coach in the AFC South, and we have the Super Bowl going on, which is going to be interesting to see for sure. So I want to get your thoughts on all of that stuff before we jump into it. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Twitter and the Instagram, all that stuff. That's how we stay up to date with all the new shows and everything going on. So get into the comments. This is a fan show, and let me know what you think. Robert Atzert is the first one in the chat, and he says, let's go. I like it. I like it. Jason Trent fan here. King David says, let's go, Duval. Rico says, yo. Timmy Devil 999 says, Duval, baby. Mr. Chimes says, yo, I miss Jags football. Sea Breacher, channel member, says, let's go. Corey T, channel member, also in the chat. So as you can see, we love the chat around here. So Nick Ludwig, channel member, also. So the question now becomes, as the Jags turn to the offseason, is what are they willing to do, right? I was just talking to some friends earlier, and we were talking about how the Jags pretty much have 2 decisions coming up. And this is all I want to mention about the cap for a while, because I feel like we talk about the Jags salary cap a lot. If we prioritize having cap room in 2024, 2025, then we can't restructure some of these guys. If we don't prioritize that and we look at this window for maximizing, you can restructure a lot of these guys that have those contracts, Aluakon and all of that, Kirk. So definitely could work out for sure. Jags got to figure out, though, what their priorities are when it comes to that. So if you're me, I understand the whole Trevor window thing about how, like, Trevor Lawrence has a small window. But at the same time, like, I'm not one of these people that likes to borrow from tomorrow for today. And so I feel like if we eat up too much cap, we could be in a pretty poor situation when it comes time to sign Trevor to an extension and all of those things. So we'll see. But Jags in the Pro Bowl, right? So does this count, right? You have Trevor Lawrence as an alternate because Mahomes is in the Super Bowl, and you have Agnew in the Pro Bowl because of Duvernay couldn't make it because of an injury. So do those really count as Pro Bowl bursts? I didn't like spend the time to looking into, like, a lot of people have contracts where they have incentives for making the Pro Bowl. And I don't know if these count. Like, I can't imagine they do, because after seeing the list of AFC quarterbacks that made it to the Pro Bowl, Derek Carr, Huntley, and Lawrence, like, I feel like those aren't quarterbacks that would have gotten a deal for money. I don't know. I just feel like those weren't people you would have thought that were going to make the Pro Bowl at all. Sea Breacher, channel member. Sea Breacher, who was carrying me in some Rainbow Six earlier this week. If you're into Rainbow Six or things like that, I'm also on Twitch, Jaguars United. You can look that up. He says it's really disappointing that Huntley and Carr are in the Pro Bowl with Trevor. I know. Like, that's what I was kind of trying to say. Like, Huntley and Carr kind of watered down the prestige of that is the Pro Bowl. Timmy Devil 999 says, Duval. I miss you, Timmy Devil 999. Tara J says, Jags have a Pro Bowl quarterback. And that's what I was just talking about. Like, I don't think that the contracts, like you get incentives for making the playoffs, winning games. Like, they work incentives into everyone's contract. And Pro Bowl is always in all of them. And do these count, I wonder, toward those incentives? I'm sure the NFL pays them to go, because they wouldn't just go, I don't think, on their own dime anymore. Timmy Devil says, Herbert didn't make it. Joey Bosa, it feels icky. Well, I mean, it's a popularity contest. The fact that Tyler Huntley got the Pro Bowl nod over Trevor Lawrence tells you all you need to know about the selection process and the validity of it. Let's see what else we got here. Is this the year we get new uniforms? Asked King David. It's a good question. I think it could be. You have a year the Jags are eligible for, like, there's a statute of limitations as far as how many years you're allowed to have a jersey before you can change it. So I think this year is the first year they can change their jersey. And with the Jags kind of trending up, is a great time for them to do that. And I think they will. If I'm Shad Khan, I am. And give the fans what they want. And then you know what? In 4 or 5 years, change it again. They're a business. It's what they do. They're going to try to make money. I have like probably 3 different jerseys in my closet, and the Jags have not been around that long. So they're going to change jerseys. You can bet this year probably will be the year. Atsert says, well, Trevor's team will win in flag football and Agnew. Yeah, I'm surprised they're playing flag football because they used to play flag football in sand, and then there was a Patriots running back, Patriots rookie, hurt in Pro Bowl. I can't remember his name. Robert Edwards, right? So in 1998, Robert Edwards had 1,100 yards. He was a first-round pick by the Patriots, and then tore his ACL. He had such a bad injury that they almost thought his leg was going to have to be amputated, according to the Wikipedia. So that was at a Pro Bowl on flag football in sand. So I wouldn't play in these flag football games. You never know. You just never know. I don't know. I mean, like, at what point are you taking away from their quality of life? I get that argument. Like, I saw the pictures of Trevor in Aspen skiing or snowboarding, and he looked like he was enjoying himself. Like, he was enjoying taking some time off from the season. Like, these players do that. And I know there was a picture of, like, a can of dip or something in his pocket I just saw. But, like, let him enjoy that. Like, he stays out of trouble. You're never going to hear about Trevor in the news. If he wants to go away to Aspen a week or 2 after the season ends and spend some time with his family, like, do that, Trevor. Do that. And you know what? I'll take it a step further, boys. If Trevor, if you want to skip the volunteer workouts, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Go. I don't care. I know what we have in Trevor. You want to enjoy yourself. Like, my priority is now keeping Trevor Lawrence playing football and keeping Trevor Lawrence play in Jacksonville. So he's a stand-up character guy. So nothing leads me to believe that he wouldn't do something like that on his own mission. But just in case, like, pay him more than most quarterbacks are getting in the offseason when you resign him. Hook him up. I'm Team Lawrence, man. I'm Team Lawrence. Raiden says, hello. What's up, Pokey? Raiden is on Twitch as well. Hit up Raiden. UCF Jaguar, Jags United. We out here. Hey, thank you, UCF Jaguar. Appreciate you coming by here, man. We'll have to talk Jags here soon. But this is kind of the offseason for a lot of people. UCF Jaguar's favorite content creator has been posting a lot. So I know that he's been enjoying it. UCF has been consuming some good content. I can guarantee you. He's been consuming some good content. Timmy Devil says, what's on the agenda to talk about tonight? Sed and Sesko says, what's up, Jags United? Good to see you. Not much. We're talking Jags. I'm a little slow tonight, boys. I'm a little slow. So we'll ease into the conversation. Didn't even mention that we're on the podcast. So if you want to send this to a friend or you want to listen to it later, podcast, you can search up on Spotify, Jags United. This show's going up for sure. What's on the agenda tonight? Well, so I wanted to talk about the Pro Bowlers, D'Amico Ryans being hired by the Texans and in the Super Bowl. So I used to be I know people, if this is your first time watching the show, okay, sorry, I'm usually more organized, but I came into the show with a pretty good plan on what I wanted to do, but I just kind of lost motivation somewhere before the show started. So I'm just going to get your comments and we'll just talk about your comments. Raiden says, United, I got me an Xbox Series X today. Nice. I'm a PC gamer, so can't relate. Nick Ludwig said, well, it's fairly obvious that Trevor is easily the most talented AFC Pro Bowl quarterback. Definitely, 100%. For sure. Yeah. I just went on my Trevor rant just a second ago, so you guys know how I feel about that. All right, so glad they made the Pro Bowl. Don't get hurt. You know, who should have really made the Pro Bowl? I mean, I don't see why we didn't have Jamal Agnew, which wasn't in automatically. Logan Cook should have definitely been in the Pro Bowl. Trevor should have been without a reserve role. Yeah. Can't remember someone asked me earlier today, like, when's the last time you watched or like, not when's the last time, but it was like, did you watch last year's? And I said, I haven't watched a Pro Bowl in probably a decade. The last time I watched a Pro Bowl, I think like Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady were in the Pro Bowl. Hurst would look good in a Jags jersey. Oh, I love Hayden Hurst. I hope it works out with Ingram. I'm praying that it does. If it doesn't, that's the first man I want on my list. And this jersey's up temporarily. I have some frame jerseys coming. I'm just waiting on my third one to get finished framing. You can actually see the frame jersey in the background. That's one of them that's going up. But until it gets here, I thought I'd have some fun and throw some jerseys up there. I like Hayden Hurst. It's a signed Hurst jersey, by the way. Aluaquan. I'm a little worried about getting hurt. Flag football takes some knees and ankles. It does, man. It does. For sure. Fire of Desire says fresh shave there, Jason. Not only did I fresh shave, I also got a haircut. Right? And so I was growing it out. Okay. This episode is not about the Jags anymore. I was growing my hair out, and I was like, okay, I'm over that phase. I'm done with it. It looked horrible. Like, my hair just looks bad grown out. If you go back to my last video, it probably looks terrible. So I was like, you know what? I'm going back to the short haircut. So for people I see every day, they're like, oh, dang, you got a pretty serious haircut. And I told all those people at my age, at 33, I'm just glad I still can get haircuts, because there's a lot of guys my age that can't even grow hair on their heads. So yes, I got a haircut. Thank you for noticing. I appreciate that. Back to football. Red Jets 206. What up, Red Jet? Says, man, I wish the Pro Bowl still had the longest throw. Those were fun. The longest quarterback throw challenge. Curious of what he can. Those were fun. And even like throwing into those, like moving like targets. The problem is like they did that and still no one watched. So like we would watch because we want to see Trevor. But if Trevor wasn't competing in that, we wouldn't watch at all. And that's the problem. So that's the issue they're trying to solve with flag football. Just have them like, I don't know, have them do something like normal. Like, how many of us would watch them like go on like a sales call? You see those goofy YouTube videos where they like dress up like a normal person and people don't recognize them. Do something like that. Way more people would watch that. I don't know. Atzert says, number 0 Washington tight end from my Dogs is a good second pick for us in the draft. Touchdown machine and a blocker at 6'7", 260 is fast for his size. So, Robert, I like Washington. The problem is that every single team's fan base wants him. And they all think they can get him in the second round. So when that happens, in my experience, that typically means that the guy is going to get drafted higher than he's being thought of by a lot of fan bases. So does he sneak into the bottom of the first round, or is he a high first round pick? I don't know if he'll be there for the Jags pick in the second round. I don't know. He's developed a lot. I mean, he has developed into a really good player at Georgia. So, I mean, unless the scouts kind of like look at him and say that they feel like he's like capped out on his development, which is hard to say for a young guy, then there's no reason why he shouldn't be taken to the top of the second round. Mr. Chime said, last time I watched the Pro Bowl was when Lamar was terrible hitting the targets. Oh, yeah. But again, like, I don't know. He was probably out the night before with his boys. I don't know. Robert Atchert. Oh, yeah, I got that one. Isaiah Jones says, Ingram would look good in a Jags jersey for 3 years. I want Ingram. Listen, I want Evan Ingram. I like his play style. He's basically a big receiver. We don't have a big receiver. He's our Travis Kelce. You know, he's not Travis Kelce, but he's our Travis Kelce, okay? So, yeah, risk sign him. And I think Trevor got more comfortable with him as the year went on. As the year went on and he got more comfortable, you could see him kind of go to him more often. Trevor Lawrence, Pro Bowl MVP. Ben, are you actually going to watch the Pro Bowl? I don't even know when it's on. Is it on Sunday or Saturday? I have no clue. Red Jet says the NFL Pro Bowl presents Duck Goose. No, because then someone would get hurt. Trevor Lawrence would be chasing Tyreek Hill around a circle and trip on some big offensive lineman's elbow. No. I like it though. Dodgeball was a good idea, but again, that's like the skills competition. They're good ideas, but no one watches them. Dodgeball was a great idea. Nobody watched it. Robert adds, I mean, if your quarterback's in it, you'll watch it. That's the thing. But like, how do you get everyone to watch? And like, it's just tough. That's why I'm saying, like, do like a reality show. Stick your MVP guys, put them in a house for a week, and just video them interacting with each other. That would be way more watched than whatever they're going to put out there for the Pro Bowl. Like, I guarantee you. Throw these guys into a house for a week and just video their interactions. Like, that's part of it. Like, here's your prize for being one of the best players. You're going to get a lot of media attention for your own brand, because every player retires and then, you know, builds off their name as a brand. So why not go out there and help them out? It'd be fun. Maybe not a week, maybe 3 days. I don't know. Timmy Devil says the Jags going after a tight end in the draft: Dalton Kincaid, Michael Mayer, Tucker Kraft. I mean, I think they will. I'm just surprised that, like, I feel like if Doug was going to go like the young athletic tight end route, he would have implemented Luke Farrell more, and he barely played Luke Farrell. Now maybe they saw in practice that Luke Farrell wasn't going to give them anything, and he was a liability, maybe. But like, maybe, I mean, again, I don't know. It's so hard to know. I feel like if I were Doug Peterson, I would have rolled in Luke Farrell just a little bit more here and there just to see what I had. But maybe. I mean, if you spend all that money on a tight end, it's probably not wise to get a high pick on another tight end. I'll watch until Trevor leaves. Okay, I like it. I think the skills challenge on Saturday is and the flag football game is on Sunday. Okay. Thank you, Isaiah. I appreciate that. Luke Musgrave. I don't know about Luke Musgrave. I'll have to do some research. Luke Farrell doesn't compare to those guys, my guy. Okay. Listen, maybe. I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised he didn't try him out there. Pro Bowl should be a giant Royal Rumble match. Like, have him play a different sport. Like, have him play, like, pickup basketball. Like, that, I feel like more people would watch that. Or a round of golf, even. Look at the ratings that these golf things did with Brady and Manning and all those guys. And Romo. Have them play a round of golf. And if they're bad at golf, good. That's even better TV. I mean, is everyone going to watch? No, but it'll probably be the same amount as the Pro Bowl. Isaiah, I love watching Kincaid, even though I don't watch a lot of college football. I would like it if we drafted him for sure. Well, we can take a look at the top tight end draft prospects. According to PFF here. This is the top tight ends. Oregon State's Luke Musgrave and Notre Dame's Michael Mayer both have a shot to land in round 1. That's what I'm saying. Like, are we going to take a tight end in the first round? If we don't re-sign Evan Ingram, then maybe. I don't know. Will Mallory. I actually coached Will Mallory. That's hilarious. I coached Will Mallory when he was at Providence in Jacksonville. Great kid. Great kid. Played basketball with him one time. I think I remember him almost dunking on me, and I was like, "No, you're not dunking on me." The dude, he was, yeah, good for him. His dad played in the NFL. Davis Allen, senior, Clemson, out of Clemson. Redshirt senior, Brevin Spann-Ford, out of Minnesota. Tucker Kraft, out of South Dakota State. I like these Dakota kids, typically. They always turn out better than you think. Let's see here. I mean, okay. Okay. Cool. Cade Stover, Ohio State. How many players does Ohio State have? Sam Laporta. Matt Laporta, baseball player from Florida, was good for a little bit in the majors. Darnell Washington. There's all your boys right there. You guys love him. 6'7", 265. Jeez. Early day 2. Okay, so that's where I had him graded. I had him graded in the top of the second round. 6th offensive lineman with ball skills. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly who I would want. Yeah, look at that. He's got ball skills. I'll take that. There's your boy, Dalton Kincaid. I only watched one Utah game this year, and I didn't notice him, so maybe he was injured. I haven't done any research on these guys yet. He comes to obvious concerns regarding size. That's not 6'4", 240. It's pretty small. It's pretty small there, boys. Luke Musgrave. High-end athlete, 6'6", 250. I do like these big West Coast
season, they have been averaging about 180 yards rushing per game, and they hope Nolan can add to that through the air. Luke Musgrave, a tight end who plays a lot like a wide receiver. They're looking it across the middle, and it's his tight end again, Musgrave.
Okay.
The seam Saturday. That's what we're going to call this today, Beth. Why? Because you got a tight end and just fakes.
Okay. Not bad. Michael Mayer, that's who everyone wants out of there. I mean, there's no way we sign Ingram and get a first-round pick. Tight end, there's no way. What's up, Jags United? Yay for Trev, but Hundley? Come on, man. What's up, Jaggernaut? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I know, seriously. Hey, yay for Trev. Have the defensive players, this is from Ben Haney, play offense, and the offensive players play defense. I'm running out of ideas. That actually would be funny. Can you imagine Trevor out there playing like outside or edge rusher, outside linebacker? And you have, he would have to be like I don't know where he would play on defense. It's hard to put a quarterback on defense. But Agnew at DB, wasn't Agnew at DB at one point? Yeah, I don't know. Not a bad idea there, Ben. I'm here, but I have to drive to work, so I'll just listen in. All right, Volk, appreciate you being here. Yeah, drive safe, man. Glad you're working. It's always good to be employed. Keep that in perspective. Isaiah Jones, that was the one guy along with the Georgia tight end that I paid attention to. Yeah, him and, okay. And I like the kid, Brock Bowers, obviously. Mallory kind of reminds me of a lighter, slightly less ball skill version of Brock Bowers. Will Mallory does. Washington would be an obvious replacement for Manhurts. Better receiving threat, too. But Manhurts didn't really play that many snaps is the problem. Like, are you not going to take a first-round player? I mean, let's see here. You got to assume that he's going to want to run a similar offense. I mean, maybe he does change what he does a little bit with who he has. But if we're looking at total snaps, Manhurts 449. Okay? And for context, Luke Fortner played in 1256. So that's like a third. He played in a little over a third of the snaps. So 33%. Are you going to take a guy in the first round who played in your offense 33% of the snaps? Now, can you bump that number up to 50? Maybe, but still, is that a guy you're taking in the first round? That's the only problem with him being a Chris Manhurts replacement. Now, maybe he's an Evan Ingram replacement, and if you combine Evan Ingram's 996 snaps, I mean, that's 1,000, and that's most of them. So, but again, he's kind of a bigger wide receiver. I don't know. Robert Ayers says, I need to upgrade left guard badly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they feel about Ben Bartch. I mean, I know I have a lot of cop-out answers as far as, like, I don't know how they feel, but I don't know how they feel about Ben Bartch. And if they like Ben Bartch, then maybe they don't spend, because then you have two guys there if you re-sign Shatley or somehow bring him back. I'm sure you do, but I don't know. Maybe. It probably doesn't hurt to have another interior offensive lineman, though. That's for sure. I think the Jags are taking a corner or guard in the first. Okay. Okay. I don't see the guard thing as much as you guys do. I don't know. But maybe. Why not, United? We are about to lose Arnold and Manhurts. Why not get another dog at tight end? Okay. So you're talking about Dan. Okay, so let's be fair here. If we take Dan Arnold's snaps, we'll take Dan Arnold's snaps, all 169 of them, and we'll add them to Manhurts. Okay, that puts us at about 600. We'll give you half of Luke Farrell's snaps. That's 50. So you're at 650. Okay, so now you're contributing, right? So 650, you're at about half of the snaps. That's 50%. So you're okay with taking a guy in the first round with your first round pick that you plan on playing on 50% of your snaps. Now, you may be okay with that. I mean, that's fine. I mean, Travon Walker probably played 60, 70%. Devin Lloyd played probably under 30. So I don't know. I kind of look at it. I'm a big statistician. I like to look at statistics, and I like to kind of look at the analytics. And I think if you're going to play a guy 50% of the time, even if he's an extra tackle and you can play him more, I still just I want a guy in the first round that's going to play like 100% of the snaps, or like at least 75. So a nickel corner, definitely. An interior defensive lineman, definitely. That's where I'm thinking. But again, I don't know what they plan on doing with re-signing players. And I don't know what they plan on doing with restructuring. We started the show talking about the problem with restructuring. Everybody just wants to restructure, restructure. And that's great. But what you have to realize what that does is that basically it gives them all of the money of their contract. So when you initially sign a player, you give them their guaranteed money. They have to get that, but then they can play out the rest of their contract. And a lot of times players get cut before they play out their contract, and they don't make the full contract, but they get the guaranteed money. When you restructure these guys like Kirk, Aluakon, Sheriff, what you're doing is you're now guaranteeing them the full deal that you gave them, like the guaranteed money and the rest of it. And so that's fine if they've earned the money, but if you decide to get razor thin margins this year and guarantee the full contracts of all these guys, your 2024 and 2025 cap situation is going to be tighter than this year's. So that's the risk with the restructure thing. The alternative is to release guys like Agnew, Roy Robertson Harris, and Jenkins, who admittedly I want back, but then you're freeing up about the same amount of money and not risking the 2024-2025. You can still go get free agents. If next year the year after next suddenly becomes like the window, Trevor's last year of his rookie deal, all these guys bringing in a fresh crop, the guys, the picks this year, Lloyd and Muma and Walker and Fortner, they're playing like elite levels because they've been in the league for now their third year. Do you want to sacrifice that for next year? And that's the question Balky's going to have to answer. As much as he wants to say the cap is a lie and it's all about cash flow, the cap's not a lie. If the cap wasn't a lie, you would have saw a team like the Chiefs keep Tyreek Hill, even though he was priced out of the market. You would see Arizona keep, guys like Christian Kirk, even though he got priced out of the market, if the cap was a myth. So Evan Ingram could get priced out of our market. Juwan Taylor will probably get priced out of our market. So it can happen. The cap is not a myth by any stretch of the imagination. Joseph Drawbon said, Juwan Taylor's improvements, talents, or coaching? That's a great question, Joseph. And I'd love to hear what you think, because I don't know. I really don't know. I tend to think he stayed healthy and played a great year of football motivated by his contract. I tend to think that, but that's not fair to him. And I'll admit that that's not fair to him. Because if I'm him, I'm sitting here thinking, nah, dude, that's just who I am. So I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I like Juwan Taylor. I like him. I would love to have him back. But I like him so much as a person. I respect the fact that him and his camp may say, no offense, Jaguars, but I get one chance at a second contract, and I'm going to maximize that. I would not blame him in the least for that. Robert Ayers says, how you know Barch was good was he played in 2 games. The fact that they named him starter over Shatley just leads me to believe that they thought he was better than Shatley. So maybe again, I prefaced it with saying Depends on how they feel about Ben Barch. You're right. And being healthy and available is part of being good now. So they could think he's good, but then still also think that he can't stay healthy. So go get a guy. Because staying healthy is one of the hardest things to do in the NFL. I mean, everyone's talented. Everybody. Atzert also says, tell Cam to go left guard and get over Walker Little being left tackle and get Washington. I don't know how Cam would play at guard. Ben Haney says the Jags did something similar in 06 when they drafted Mercedes in the first round while they still had Kyle Brady. Okay. Mercedes Lewis is a guy that and I didn't have time to look it up, but I was thinking the other day, like, I wonder what Green Bay, I wonder what Mercedes Lewis would have cost to retain, to re-sign. There seems to be a few free agent guards. Let's take a look. 2023 NFL free agents. We'll go rankings here, boys. And we will use... Ooh, I'm not using Yahoo. I'm using PFF. Okay. Lamar Jackson. We'll just go through them just for fun. Listen, it's the offseason. Let's have some fun, boys. Lamar Jackson. I think he resigns in Baltimore. Geno Smith. Don't want. Tom Brady is going to San Francisco. They really have Geno Smith as the second best free agent? Give me a break. Javon Hargrave from the Eagles. Okay. That would be a great player to bring in Jacksonville. Jesse Bates and other people have talked about bringing in Jacksonville. Now, obviously, these guys are going to get paid big money, but, man, having one of these guys would be excelente. Jamel Dean from the Bucks. Levante David from the Bucks. That's a guy that I would love to have, and I think would want to come here if we did. But we have, obviously, a stable of linebackers. Jacoby Myers, really. Not sure how I feel about this list so far. McClinchy from the 49ers, good player. He'll get a lot of money. Orlando Brown Jr. will get a lot of money. Deron Payne will get a lot of money. David Long, can't say I know much about him, but it looks like he graded pretty well. Josh Jacobs, Saquon will probably re-sign. I forgot he was even at Minnesota. I'm not seeing any guards, but guards aren't sexy, so they don't get put in these rankings. Jadeveon Clowney. Now that's a realistic name right there, boys. That's a name to keep your eye on right there. That's all I'm going to say. That's a name to keep your eye on right there. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Another name to keep your eye on. If something goes awry with the Rayshon Jenkins contract, keep your eye on that man right there. Caleb McGarry. Jermaine Pratt. Oh, Ben Powers. Okay, here's a guy that I remember watching his film when he was in college. Powers took a meteoric leap as a pass protector in 2022 with his 86 pass block grade. Oof, that's a candidate for a Jaguar right there. Powers allowed 0 sacks and just 1 quarterback hit the entire year, playing in front of 3 different quarterbacks over the second half of the campaign. Woo! There's a name y'all aren't talking about right there. Come on, Timmy Devil. He beat out Little. Little played amazing at left tackle. Tag Taylor and pay Ingram. Oof, golly, man. You know how much it would cost to tag Taylor? No need to harp over it. Let Roy walk, let Griffin walk, and let's restructure Jenkins. This may not be fair, Timmy, but I would rather have Roy Robertson Harris than Jenkins. I thought Roy Robertson Harris played, but golly, I can't get that final game against the Chiefs out of my head where they couldn't stop the run. So, yeah, you're right. Let him walk. You convinced me. Let Griffin walk, too. And Jenkins. Let them all walk. Go get you a guard. Go get you Ben Powers. Have we ever re-signed a player after one good year and they didn't completely drop off? Maurice Jones-Drew got an extension and played well, I think, after... Gabriel says Christian Kirk had great numbers this year, but do you think his stats warrant 10% of the cap in 2023? Yes, I do. And the reason why is because you have to, like him as on his own merit as an athlete. Does he demand 10% of the cap? Probably not. But if you factor in his value as a wide receiver 1 to a team that has Trevor Lawrence, then now it does. Because I said this was the problem with Urban Meyer. The problem with Urban Meyer was he did not do enough to help Trevor Lawrence succeed in year 1. You can say all you want about whatever you want. Bringing in the strength coach, that was controversial. Staying back in Ohio and not coming back with the team and having the video of him with the young girl. Kicking Josh Lambo. Don't care about any of that stuff. The thing that killed Urban Meyer and ultimately was his demise was he did not do enough to help Trevor Lawrence. He went cheap and said, I have a year to go cheap. We'll build a culture, and then we'll pay a bunch of money this offseason. That was Urban's strategy. He went cheap. They brought in marginal guys like Roy Robertson Harris, Shaq Griffin, and Rayshon Jenkins. They didn't really go after one of those like huge big name skill position players, and that was his ultimate demise. And Trevor was out there throwing to Laviska Shenault, Marvin Jones Jr., guys like that. And it's just Dan Arnold, like Urban did not do enough, and that was his ultimate demise. So when you factor in Kirk's value to the Jags as a number 1 receiver, 10% makes sense. I know that's a lot to say about one little thing, but DJM says, I like the haircut. Thank you, DJM. You missed my speech about how when you're my age, you're just happy you can still get haircuts. Because I got friends that they do their own hair because they just buzz it or they just shave it. And I'm glad I'm not in that situation yet. Timmy says, interior pass rush is needed. Let Josh Allen walk. I think we have Josh Allen. We have his 5th year. So he can play. I think we want to keep Josh Allen 1 more year. Asterisk, Quarterman will get cut and save some cap. I don't think he saves that much. He only saves like $1 million. Averco says, hello, Hi, Mr. Trent. Hi. Timmy says, Jenkins played out of his mind this year. Also, they almost targeted Cam twice, so they may do Taylor too. No need to pay Taylor yet. Jenkins played well in the second half of the season, right? Like, I'm trying to think. Let's look at his defensive grades here. I know people don't like this. Rayshon Jenkins, 21st, 57 grade. And I know this doesn't account for everything, and he played a lot of snaps, but, I mean, his tackling grade was a 40. His run defense grade was a, where are we at here? Was a 62. Pass defensive, his overall grade, I mean, he just wasn't that good. I mean, came up big in big situations, but I'm saying as like an overall body of work, they were like putting in like Dewey Wingard because they needed help against the run. They had like they had 3 safety sets trying to stop the run. What about Dewey Wingard? That's a good question for people. 4th rated player, 223 snaps. He played as many snaps as Agnew did, and everybody wants Agnew, but not Dewey. And Winger's grades are way better. Austin Boston says, I want to see what Trevor can do with real deep threats in the Pro Bowl. Why didn't we throw deep this year? We did a lot in college. He did a lot in college. It's a good question. I always wondered why they didn't try to stretch the field more. I think at times when they did, they just weren't catching the ball. I mean, every time I think of deep passes, guys were just not open or they didn't catch the ball. Kirk had a huge drop. Ingram had a big drop. Kirk had multiple big drops, actually. Zay Jones had big drops on deep balls. It's just like they tried, I think. Isaiah Jones says the top teams have excellent tight ends, so that's why I say to keep Ingram besides tight ends are cheaper. I'm curious to what did Jesse Bates rate on PFF? Okay. Let's take a look here. Search for player. Bates. Jesse Bates the third. Let's see, his overall was a 71. Not great. 71. He had an 88.3 run defensive grade and a 64 cover grade. So he was really good against the run and really poor against the pass. But 88.3 against the run's really, really good. And that's what you're mainly going to have him do. So, yeah, his overall grade was a 72, but 88, that's a good grade there. Do you think we take a peek at free agent running backs? Hasty isn't complimenting ETN very well. Would be nice to have a quality running back, too. I disagree, Red Jet. I think the coaches like JaMychal Hasty. I think they do. And especially as soon as James Robinson was off the team, you kind of saw Hasty's role go up a lot. And I think they like Snoop Conner. I think they'll keep the running backs they have. Taylor still jumps the snaps 50% of the time, but Robert, they don't call it. They don't call it. Cody Jackson says, Duval. Callie Jag says, longtime Jag fan, newer listener. Content is great. Keep it coming. We're on the Jag withdrawals this time of year. Oh, Callie, I appreciate you being here. We actually have some fun stuff going on in my house. I have some friends playing music right now. You might be able to hear it in the background, but I'm actually really enjoying it, to be honest. So, sorry if it's cutting through the mic. I don't. It doesn't really bother me. So, thank you for being here, Callie. There's gonna be content all off season for sure. Timmy Devil says, no way you are letting Ingram walk. Who's gonna be your top number one? Your tight end number one. D-Hop is like 30. We can't. How can we pay T. Higgins? Higgins, D-Hop, Ridley, Kirk, and Zay. Are you serious? Timmy, I don't think anyone expects to have all those guys. I mean, there's no way you get Higgins. D-Hop, I think you could get if you let Ingram walk. But I'd probably rather have Ingram than D-Hop. I don't know, though. I can be convinced. If Doug Peterson came in here and said, hey, I'd rather have DeAndre Hopkins than Evan Ingram, I'd say, okay, cool. Go get DeAndre Hopkins. You know? That's why they're making the decisions, and I'm just kind of waiting to see. Gabriel Ace Vito says, Quarterman was number 1 on that list. Cutting him looks like a bad idea. No, because look at the snap counts. That's the thing with PFF that I like, is they give you the snap counts. So if we go back to the Jaguars, 22 snaps for Shaq Quarterman. So, yeah, he had a great grade, but he only played in 22 snaps, whereas Tyson Campbell played in 1,200. Okay? So, for those of you at home, that is 2%? 2% of the snaps. It's not good. Tag Ingram is realistic. That's true, Hosh. I like that. That's a good point, Hosham. Yeah, you could tag him. You could tag him. I think that might be what they do. But they said that they didn't want to use the tag on guys. So, we'll see. Ridley will help with the deep ball. Robert says he's a mind reader. I believe it, too. I was going to ask, I live across the street from Clay High School. Band practices at 6:30 a.m. Nah, I know. Now, listen, they're jamming. You know the band that I play, this is a good plug for them. The band that I play at the intro of all my shows is a band called Straying Anchors. And 2 members of their band are at my house right now playing some music. It's awesome. I love it. I'm a big music guy, so musician myself, for those of you that don't know. So I had an idea. So what we're gonna do going forward, okay? So I'll get big screen here for you. So going forward, I'm going to be doing some more interesting content stuff here, okay? So those of you that follow the show for a while know that the way my professional life is scheduled is when the Jags are in the off season, I actually have a pretty light schedule. So I'm always looking to do content, but it's in the off season. So I'm gonna be putting out random film breakdowns. I'm gonna do some other stuff. I'm gonna try some other stuff. I'm gonna try some fun stuff. One of the things I'm gonna be trying that's fun is I'm gonna go back to my daily show. So I'll tell you more about that coming forward. It's like all sports stuff and things like that. It's a different YouTube channel. It's obviously recorded in the same studio, but talk about all things sports. So I don't feel like plugging that right now, so I'll plug it next week, probably earlier in the show. So I appreciate you guys being here. It's gonna be a shorter show. I kind of want to go jam with these guys. I'm kind of got the itch to play some music, so I'm gonna go jam with them. So appreciate you guys. If you guys want to talk Jags for a little bit, I'll leave the stream open. I don't know if y'all like to do that or not, but I'll leave the stream open. Y'all can talk Jags for a little bit. Make sure to follow everything. I love you guys. You guys know I love you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next show. Go Jags.